You know, politics don't bother us.
Civic TV, the one you take to bed with you.
I think it's sort of an easy way to have entertainment, though. There are times when I go home and I wish that I had a television so I could turn it on and be entertained and not have to read or not have to, you know, do something for myself and just sit back and be totally passive.
I think there are several factors on why Americans use television so much as their main choice of leisure entertainment and really overuse it. The TV is supposedly on 7 hours and 44 minutes in most American households. So if we were reading for 7 hours and 44 minutes, people would worry about us. You know, if we were skiing, if we were doing any other activity for that long every day for 20, 30 years of our lives, giving up, I guess, 7 or 8 years of our lives, other people would be concerned about us.
If you're asking, like, do individuals have relationships with television? I think they do. I mean, I think they have individuals have relationships with everything. I have a relationship with pizza. You know, I have a relationship, you know, with a camera that's like pointing at me right now because I'm thinking about it and I'm relating to it. Sure. I mean, you know, it's like what can this thing give you, right? The pizza gives me pleasure. You know, it fills up my tummy, and it tastes delicious. And you know, and if the show you're watching gives you something in some way, maybe it's just like, you know, it makes you laugh. Doesn't, you know, your boyfriend, wife, girlfriend make you laugh? Sure. You know, and they can give you pleasure. And don't they make you mad? Oh yeah, they make you mad. You know, so yeah, I'm sure it's a surrogate.
Half the time when I'm over at someone's house for an extended period of time, they turn on the television and they'll say, "Oh, there's just nothing on the tube," and they turn it on. And they flip every channel, and they'll eventually find something they obviously don't want to watch, and they'll sit down and watch it when, you know, they could be interacting with another human being like me because I'm there, or, you know, they could find something else to do. But a lot of people don't see that light.
You know, an adolescent relationship, as I define it, is where we want to spend as much time with our beloved as possible. It's the first phase of falling in love, and we can't get enough. And we've had adolescent relationships with other technologies. The automobile is a great example. When we first designed and got into an automobile in the 20s and 30s, we overused it. We had the Sunday drive, even in the 40s and 50s. We just drove the car to drive the car. Now, of course, in 1997, we would say, this is incredible. We would never do that. We have moved to a different relationship with the automobile. We're not fascinated.
It's pretty seductive is what it really is. It's an opiate for the masses, so to speak.
If you feel like you're depending on it, then yeah, shut it off. I mean, it's really that simple. I mean, I write a TV column every week, and I have to watch a lot of TV. But still, I won't allow myself to watch over 2 hours a night. And that's simply because after that, you know, my head gets a little spinny and I'm starting to feel a little bit nauseous. And so, you know, that's enough of a warning for me. You know, I don't need to go to rehab or anything. I can just shut it off.
What is needed is another view of the brain and its vulnerability to stimulus, visual stimulus, and how conditioning the visual picture can be, and actually it can be addicting. So that there are limitations to the screen in terms of what it can give us, but there are also vulnerabilities within our human brain. You combine those vulnerabilities physiologically with our cultural problems and our emotional, I guess, disease, if we want to say that, dis-ease. And we have a big kettle of fish, which is basically we are overusing TV, and we have an adolescent relationship with television since the 1950s.
I got so many cars, people come up to me and say, "Hey, Crazy Ernie, where'd you get all those cars?"
Spatula City!
Spatula City.
Spatula City, 7 locations. We're in the yellow pages under Spatulas.
At some level, every one of us is influenced.
I've watched commercials for like the Keg, the steakhouse, you know. Yeah, I want some of those onion rings. That sounds delicious, you know. And you know what? I went to the Keg and they were delicious.
I think that television is very pandering. I think that television was invented not to entertain but to sell products.
We know that TV and advertising is a perfect marriage, and that's the reason television was formed, was to advertise products.
Since then, it's become more of a selling vehicle than an entertainment vehicle.
I don't think the ad representatives would deny that. You know, they're going for, like, you know, everybody's demographics to them, right? And, you know, they're not going after you specifically. You know, they're picking you out for your age, your gender, you know, your weight.
My heart goes out to the girls. I teach kind of a critical age, 4th grade.
There are, of course, studies about young girls and body image and the increase of bulimia and anorexia.
And 4th through 6th grade is when girls see their real role models. And what they're seeing on television, it scares me to see how these girls react to it, to be honest.
I think TV affects people's self-image now more than ever.
I have girls in here who think they're fat, and they're only 9 or 10 years old, and that's a real shame to me.
TV, okay, you have to think of TV as kind of like this warped sideshow mirror, right, of society. It's like, it's, you know, you can see yourself, right, but that's not exactly you on the screen, is it?
With the development of the new high-resolution TV, HD TV or something like that, they say that it's going to be even less kind to people who are getting older, and it's going to be less kind to people's weight because it's going to look more three-dimensional.
That's what I'm talking about. It's kind of like a sideshow mirror. It's like, it's a warped perception of what, you know, of what we see around us every day.
I felt this was really what television was intended to do, that is to bring the truth to the American people.
The television screen has become the retina of the mind's eye.
It can be a giant hallucination machine and much, much more.
Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park.
It gives me a lot more time to do other things, more worldly things, I would call them, if that sounds snobby. Sometimes I get all burned out at night and I'm thinking, gosh, you know, I'm so lazy, it's only 10 o'clock and I'm ready to die. But then I think, well, everyone else is just watching television, so I guess it's really the same. You know, you just do different things for entertainment.
Going without television totally, I don't think, can hurt anybody.
I wonder if I could live without television. If you feel like you have to cut it off for a while, I think that's a great idea. You know, that means if, you know, I want to read for a while. You know, I want to like read books for a couple of weeks. That's fine. But, you know, I mean, but don't, you know, come crying to me the next day when you're at the water cooler and your friends, you know, want to talk about, let's pick a show, NYPD Blue, and you don't know what's going on, and everybody goes like, okay, whatever. You're out of the loop.
In early childhood, limiting it as much as possible or not having it is a good idea. However, around age 5 or 6, I do see that television and some computer games can help children cognitively, can also help emotionally and socially so that they can get along with their peers and be a part of the culture.
Because, I mean, TV is like, it's a good way for, you know, all of us to get together on something and to have something to converse about and stuff. And, you know, it's like a shared problem.
I would say if families made a decision to turn the television off one day a week, the whole day, you know, morning to night, and not even during the night, and not till the next day, I think that the families would get together a little bit more. I think the families would share a lot more, and the kids would be more creative.
Most people and most of the research will say we're overusing television because we are alienated, we are isolated from our neighbors, we are living in such a high-tech world, such a hurried pace that we want to veg out and zone out. And we use it as a distraction.
I know that people do rely on television and they say they'd go crazy without it. Well, obviously you won't go crazy without it.
It is not appropriate for adults now to be fascinated by visual technologies. When are we going to start a mature relationship where we are consciously deciding how much time we're going to be spending with these visual images rather than be swept away upon the glamour and the projection of whatever we're projecting into that box that is supposedly making our life more satisfying when really we know it isn't?